Dear learners, welcome to this week, and in this week we would be discussing things related to developing the proposal, how to make a proposal, how to write a proposal, how to interpret the proposal, because this is one of the most important part for any NGO, because most of the NGOs, they are dependent on developing the proposal. And when they develop the proposal, because based on this proposal development, they get the funds. And as you know, as we have discussed earlier also, that NGOs are dependent on the funding agency, whether it is internal in nature or external in nature. So when the funds are to be generated, so the funds should be generated through the development of the proposal. So proposal development is one of the most important aspects for any NGO. So when we try to understand the concept of the proposal development, it is very important to understand what is a proposal. And if you remember, and if you go to the first course, that is Introduction to NGO Management, there we have tried to discuss certain aspects related to reports, report writing and project proposals in a cursory manner. And in this session, we would be discussing developing the proposal in detail. Now let us see what is a proposal, because when you see the word meaning of the word proposal, it actually means proposing something, proposing some agenda, proposing some item, proposing some project, whatever the case may be. Now in this case, we are going to consider usually the projects specifically for NGOs. So proposal is something which contains an idea or a plan for a future project. The formal presentation of the proposed idea or plan is given in a proposal. You have something inside the brain. There may be some ideas coming and going. There may be certain plans emerging out of certain situations, whether it is the contingency situation, suddenly arising situation like the situation we have at present, like the COVID situation. So planning for that some idea may be generated, that certain kind of a proposal can be developed. But there can be some proposals where you have time to decide upon the idea, decide upon the plan, to work on the plan. So the time period is also there. So when you write something on when you document something in a formal form, or you present something formally, then this is the proposed idea or plan which is formally presented, and that becomes the proposal. So usually a formal proposal is presented in the written or the documented form, and it includes the detailed information regarding the proposed project. And why is proposal important? It is very, very important to help the stakeholders, especially the donors, to take certain decisions. Now suppose if you want or an NGO which is working for the education sector wants to have funding for the education of a single girl child. So the proposal has to be planned in such a manner that it specifies that for what the fund is required. So that particular idea, a plan has to be mentioned categorically in the written form or the documented form in the proposal, and that becomes the formal proposal. When we talk about developing a proposal, it is very important to understand a process, that how the proposal can be developed. So proposal development is the process of planning and creating an effective proposal for putting forward a plan for a future project. Usually proposal, because you're proposing something, so it is always futuristic in nature. It is not culminating in the end result. It is the beginning of achieving certain goal. So it involves the planning, the writing and reviewing the proposal. And therefore, it requires considerable time in planning to prepare an appropriate proposal. The proposal should be quite adequate, quite specific, quite precise to generate funds, because if the proposal is not giving the idea of what it is having inside, then there is no meaning of the proposal. So proposal should be very specific and very precise. Proposal writing and submission to the prospective donors is one of the most important function of NGOs, because most of the NGOs, as we have considered again and again, that they are dependent on the funds. Funds can be in any forms. Proposals are required for approaching donors for raising the funds, as NGOs mainly rely on donations for meeting their financial obligations. So proposals usually are meant for raising the finances. And writing a proposal, it starts with the field work which has to be completed, and the relevant data should be stored related to the proposed project. Because if you don't know the viability of the project, the feasibility study is very, very important before developing the proposal. Now, if in case the proposal is developed without doing the field work, without having certain relevant data, then the sanctity of the proposal is questionable. So that is why it is important, while writing the proposal, the fieldwork should be completed, the feasibility study should be done, and the relevant data related to the proposed project has to be collected while developing the proposal. Because one aspect of the proposal development includes stating that some kind of fund is required for this particular purpose. So that is very important while developing a proposal. In proposal development, the key decision to be made at this stage is the structured formats. A structure is very important. A proper structure is required, and the structure is determined either based on the nature of a project or based on the requirements of the funding agency. So usually what happens, the funding agency also gives their own inputs as to what and how the proposal has to be made. So that also becomes the guidelines, which we'll discuss in the next session. So the structure is determined based on the nature of a project or the requirements by the funding agency. The final format for a proposal which is to be structured, or which is to be proposed, or which is to be sent, is based on the requirement of the format. It can be the funding agency, it can be the application forms, it can be the project designs outline, or the grant application guidelines. There are a number of formats for proposal development. If it is an indigenous proposal development, so the NGO itself has its own format to ask for the funds. But there are applications also invited through the government portal, through the private funding agency portal, whatever the case may be. So through that format also the proposal can be developed. What are the important aspects for proposal development? This is very important to understand. So when we talk about the aspects of proposal development, first we need to know the target audience, to whom the proposal is to be directed, whom the proposal should be directed, so that the target person is known, target audience is known, that why this proposal is being made. So why, when, how automatically comes into pictures. The priorities and policies of the directed agency also have to be looked into, because when the funding agency funds, they have certain priorities and policies, and based on that terms of reference, the proposal is developed. Details as to their contact points, whom to contact, that is to be mentioned categorically, and the procedures of assessment of the project proposal is also to be mentioned categorically. Other important aspects can be what are the conditions for sanctioning the grants, because most of the funding agencies, they have certain conditions laid down. So NGOs have to conform to those conditions, and if the NGOs are not able to conform to those conditions, then it becomes very difficult to procure the funds from the funding agencies. The grants may not be provided by the funding agency. So that becomes a difficult concept. So one has to complete the concise report, and the report should be very concise on the project which is proposed for fundraising, because we are talking about project proposal. So we are saying that the report on the project has to be mentioned. So that is why the feasibility study or the viability study of that particular project has to be mentioned categorically. If the project is not viable, depending on the field study and the data collected, then the funds, generating funds becomes difficult. The proposal should be complete with the concise report on the organization also. One needs to know what is, how the organization behaves, what is the purpose of the organization, why this organization exists, etc. The form and the timing of the application should also be mentioned, because what happens is, like, the portals are open for a specific time period. So the timing of application should be taken care of while developing the proposal. Now these are certain checklists for preparing a proposal. The proposal should contain all the details which may be required by a donor agency. It should be comprehensive, it should be collated, it should be brief and not bulky. It has to have the comprehensive information, but it should be brief and precise. The introduction section should contain the essence of the proposal. That is very important, because you see, the first glance in itself becomes very important. So if the introduction section is proper, the essence of proposal comes into that introduction section. So there are certain statistics related to the project which should be enclosed in the annexure part or in the appendix part, so that one can, the funding agency or the individual funder, they can go through the appendix and see what are the statistics and what kind of data is available. Then use of common abbreviations and unexplained short forms should be avoided. So when we are preparing the proposal, it's how to write the proposal, that is another aspect, but here we'll mention it that small abbreviations and short forms should be avoided, because it has to have the clarity as to what should go inside the proposal. It should provide the latest data if possible, and the copies of relevant documents wherever required should be attached. A standard size of paper has to be used. Since now things are more of online, then in online also you have a format, you have the typing standards, you have the spacing standards, all the standards for the documentation process are mentioned, and that has to be used. One thing is very important, that while preparing the proposal, false and inaccurate information should not be provided, because if it is disclosed, then the credibility of the NGO is lost. So it is very, very important for the organization that furnishing false and inaccurate information may lead to the closure of that NGO, and in fact this will be a situation where the community will suffer. So that is very important while preparing the checklist for a proposal. Now this is a cycle where you will find that how one needs to plan a particular proposal. While planning the proposal, the first aspect is the forms. What kind of forms are available, where the application has to be sent, etc., etc. Through this, you can come to know the prospective donors, the approach towards proposal planning, whether it is flexible or rigid, then the usage, the vision, the research. So this is a cycle where these 6 aspects needs to be covered while planning for the proposal. Now, application form. We'll see one by one these aspects, these components of planning a proposal. Now, the first one is the application form. You need to check, or the NGO needs to check any preferred format which is required by the funding agency. If there is no such requirement, a standard format, maybe the format prescribed by the individual NGOs, that can be used. All the guidelines should be read properly, and accordingly the form should be filled in and provide the answers to all the required questions very, very carefully, because this is a sensitive issue, and nobody is going to give the funds without having the precise and the truthful information. And the accurate information. So therefore, application form is the first step where one has to see what exactly should go inside the application form. Now, the second aspect is the prospective donors. Who are the prospective donors? So it is a very good idea to approach few donors informally who may be interested in the project, or through networking you come through certain donors who may be interested in the project, and then present a proposal with all the relevant details along with a short covering letter. The approach has to be personal in nature. If it is very informal, it should be neither very informal nor very formal. It should be balanced approach, but it should be personal, because NGOs, they work for the community. One has to be familiar with the priorities and the interests of the donors. What are the priorities of the donors, and in what categories the donors are interested? Because most of the cases, if you see regarding the funding agencies, the donors are interested in specific categories. Some may be interested in the education sector, some may be interested in the health sector, some may be interested in the sports sector, etc. So one needs to know what is the interest and whether that interest fulfills the requirement of the NGO also, because some NGOs which are not exactly working for the sports section, they may not be interested in developing the proposal to get the funds for the sports. Now we come to the approach that is the flexible approach. The proposal has to be flexible in nature, because if it is a very rigid proposal, then it becomes difficult for the donors, because the donors, they have their own rules, they have their own wishes, and they want to incorporate certain features in the proposal. Then it becomes very difficult if there is a set format, a rigid format for the proposal. So NGOs need to keep the proposal flexible to incorporate any changes as per the requirement of different donors, and these can be updated or rectified depending upon the time and size of the donor. The next component is the usage. In usage, one needs to spend considerable length of time, efforts and resources while preparing a particular project proposal. Now coming to another aspect, that is vision. One needs to know the vision of the organization, and the imagination and the passion should be reflected while writing a proposal. The prospective donor must clearly see the vision of the organization, of the NGO in clear terms, and it gives a great or a clear-cut message, a strong message. That is why vision is very important. So creating a strong visual which has the ability to express itself also makes a lot of difference. Then we come to another aspect, that is research. And research is very important, as we discussed earlier, that the data is important, the field work and the data is important. So one has to support the reasons for initiating the project with some literature, some previous work done, some field work and some of the data. So therefore, NGOs need to take some field research and for initiating the project, and develop an interest for the donors also, that a thorough work has already been done and they are genuinely wishing to work for a particular cause. Now coming to another aspect, which is the proposal development process. Now if you just see this flow chart, in this flow chart you'll find different aspects. Now you will find there are some 8 aspects which completes the proposal development process. Now the first aspect is the team formation, second is the plan, then developing an outline, preparing a draft, discussion, team meeting, reviewing and finally submitting the proposal. So we'll discuss each and every component one by one. So these are the steps in developing a proposal, how to develop a proposal. Team formation, why is it important? And what is actually the team formation? We have studied the communication process, we have studied different aspects related to HR, project management, etc. There it becomes important that why we require teams. So for developing the project proposal, one needs to gather knowledgeable and effective team members for writing a proposal. There should be one proposal manager who would direct the whole process, who will manage the process. It is quite advisable to include the member who would actually run the project. Plan. What should be the content of the proposal? That is very important. So, planning is very important, which gathers all the relevant information about the project which are to be necessarily written inside the proposal, which needs to go inside the proposal. So all relevant and important information should be gathered, collated, which is supposed to go inside the proposal. Then you prepare a timeline on when the items are due, and the roles and responsibilities of a team member has to be given categorically. This we have discussed what can be the roles and responsibilities of the team member in earlier sessions also. Then developing the outline. Now comes the important aspect, that what should be the outline. So outline should be made for different requirements of the project, such as required amounts of funds, the workforce, the equipment or the stationery. All this has to go inside, and for this the team meeting should be conducted, which considers the process of writing a proposal, and each team member is given a certain role for preparing different sections of the proposal, because once the funds are received, each team member is accountable to complete that particular role when the project starts rolling. So if from the initial stages, the team member is given a certain role to perform the different duties related to the project. Then discussion. Discussion takes place amongst all the members and the proposal manager on contents of the proposal, and discussion should be conducted through brainstorming and storyboard methods. Suggestions or solutions approved by proposal manager are to be written in the proposal, and every member of the team should be well informed related to the proposal. Then comes the another step, which is preparing a draft. And draft is prepared by all the team members, which incorporates all the points which needs to be discussed. Then the review is done. The draft is reviewed by the proposal manager. It is evaluated, suggestions are incorporated into the proposal, and all the members should be informed about the updated information. The final aspect is the submission of the proposal. This is the final part, and after the proposal is finalized and approved by the manager, it is to be submitted to the funding agency as per their requirements. This includes the covering letter, which gives the rationale of the project, and all the submission guidelines are to be followed before submitting the final proposal. Now I'll give you a reference of of a particular proposal template, you can say, or a format of a proposal development, which is being done in collaboration with different agencies. You can just go through this screen recording and you try to make a proposal yourself, a hypothetical proposal. Suppose you want to open an NGO for a certain cause. You can just try to develop a proposal, and that proposal can be a part of your assignment also. So you just go through this screen recording and see how can the proposal be developed. Now this is the reference, and in this reference you just go, you'll see different parts, different sections for developing a proposal. Hope you like this session, and if you have some queries related to this session, you can always mail to us. Thank you so much.